Life's Choices, the movie, the recap, with producers Roger Thaxton and Everette Cage. We're at the studios of the Miracles of Life Film Group with producers Roger Thaxton and Everette Cage. It's been 2 years since you started Life's Choices, the movie. Where did that vision come from?
Well, the vision actually came from a movie that we previously shot. It was not geared towards kids.
I Got My Swag?
I found my swag.
I found my swag.
I found my swag.
Now that was different. That had the guns and the violence and all the other stuff in there.
Cussing and everything, but we actually figured that that's not going to help anybody. You know, it was good for entertainment, but you're not reaching anybody with it. So we sat down and we came up with an idea and we formulated Life Choices, a movie.
Well, tell me something. I Found My Swag. How long did it take from the time you thought about it until the time you finished making it?
30 days.
Yeah, it took 30 days. We actually thought about it. Within 15 minutes, I went downstairs to my car, I got my camera, we started filming right there. And every day after work, we met back up, me, Everett, and another guy named Ray Williams. We met back up and we started shooting the movie just, off the top of the head. 30 days, completed.
No script.
No script.
Well, I'll tell you, it sounds like you found your swag there for what you were going to do here.
Right.
Well, it's 2 years later. What kind of obstacles did you run into just thinking about making this movie? Was everybody behind you?
Well, we ran into every obstacle that's out there. Basically, Newton's law. What can go wrong will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, did you start with a boatload of money and you just had to reach into it each time that you wanted to do something?
Well, I'll tell you this, I'll cut you short because our money was cut short. And we didn't have anything to start off with. We had a little bit of money that we were dipping into, but that ran out quickly. We're not multimillionaires by far. We don't have deep pockets. Our parents don't have deep pockets, and pretty much everybody around us are broke. It's a recession.
Well, from there, the next thing that happened from what it seems from the outside is you guys ended up at a multi-million-dollar facility in South Boston, Virginia, Riverstone Technology Park. That's where you did the trailer.
Right.
How did that take place? How did you get $1 million facility, multi-million-dollar facility to film in?
Ooh.
Gift from God.
Yeah.
It was a lot of networking. It was a lot of teamwork involved. We had the right resources at the right time, and it fell into place.
Who was involved in that project? I understand Victor Stone, a director from Durham, North Carolina.
Yes, he wrote the script for us. Wrote the script for us.
And then Jason McMillan. She used to sing with Martha Reeves and the Vandells. She was
beautiful lady. Yes, right. She was there as well. Right. On top of them, we had Kevin Chandler, who was a reverend. He works with the NAACP and various other committees here. Yeah, we had Mayor Thaxton. Right. We had Chief of Police David Martin. Yeah, Deputy Superintendent
of schools. It was a lot of faces. A lot of people came out, to support us, in the movement that we were trying to do. And it was surprisingly that it was a lot of people that, they did it for free. Help, makeup artists.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, you had two of the best people for the job, sound and video, Mopic, Eugene Shelton.
That's what I've seen. Yeah, Mopic.
Needless to say, from everything that I've heard from you guys, if it wasn't for his expertise in the beginning of this thing, that trailer wouldn't have been what it was.
No.
It wouldn't have been anything. Mopic pulled us through.
And then we talked about not having deep pockets. Ernell Bellamy, Big Fade Productions, we needed microphones and sound. That was something else. How did that turn out?
Well, I would say Ernell is our backbone. He's opened many doors to us. He's created many spots that he put us in. A lot of the places we shouldn't have been, he got us there.
Right.
With the sound, with the lighting. Thank you, Ernell. I would say that. Thank you, Ernell.
It's time to start trying to get some people in the movie. I gather everybody you called just answered the phone and said, "Hey, I'd like to be in it. I'd like to be in it." Was that an easy job?
Right.
How'd that work?
Yeah, right. Say we called 100 people. 5 of them said yes. We did that. Say we called 100 people every day. 5 people would say yes. So that's just hypothetically speaking. It was a long road, hard job. Getting people, to see what we were doing and see the importance of it. And as we kept going, it got better and better. More people would get on board, and here we are today. First place
it was Rivers. No, actually, it was Reedsville, North Carolina, with Stephon Brown.
Overseer B. Stephon Brown and the Full Gospel Fellowship. and Bishop Gregory Michael Davis, he's the host of the Word Network. I understand you guys went down to Reidsville, North Carolina, and made Overseer B. Stephon Brown a part of this, and then it started to take off.
Yeah, from there, we started in the church, and it was a very good experience. It brought a lot of morale to our team. So when we went down there with Stephon Brown, he greeted us with open arms, and we went in, and we felt completely comfortable, you know.
Yeah.
And then from there, how did you go from Noah's Ark Full Gospel Baptist Church to Radio 1 and K97.5? How did that happen?
To put it in simple terms, God happened. I'll say that. Because like I said, once we went to the church, once we took it in and based it off of faith and in Jesus, it flourished.
Okay, let's talk about Wade Banner and K97.5. How helpful was that piece in the infancy of your project?
Oh, completely legitimized everything.
Yeah.
When we got into K97.5, it took a whole new direction, and it went nothing but up.
It brought a wider range of people, because now it's K97 point. It's not just at the church. Now it's in the community with a hip hop radio station that,
exactly.
that a lot of people listen to, not just in North Carolina. It's in North Carolina, but you know, people all through Virginia listen to K97.5.
Especially young people.
Right.
So from K97.5 and the youngest in charge, Wade Banner, he's a college student,
Right.
working at the radio station. He's a recording artist. He's a manager, entrepreneur. That was a big boost for you guys. And then Brian Dawson, for him to get you access to women's empowerment, so you can get, who were those folks that you got women's empowerment?
Layla Ali,
Hill Harper, Russ Parr. We had Thelma from Good Times.
Right.
We had Belle Biv DeVoe.
So the list goes on.
The list goes on.
So basically,
yeah,
again, someone else opening the doors for you guys to walk through.
That's right. These, I guess you would call them superstars, seeing urgency and a need for our project, and they provide us with sound bites and footage.
So you go from K97.5, and now you're in Washington, D.C., Congressman Tom Perriella's office.
Right.
It took 60 days just to get to D.C. with all the security clearances and to try to bring a camera crew and 2 people up on Capitol Hill and actually film at the Capitol.
In the office.
It's unheard of.
In his office.
How did you get that done?
Well, honestly, I took the proper steps. I started off by talking to my brother. He also saw the urgency for what we were doing, you know, because regardless of who we talked to, if he didn't want to do it, if he didn't see the importance of it, it wouldn't have went. You know, it wouldn't have been a success. But he welcomed us with open arms, and it was a success. I mean, if anybody goes back and check the website or check on YouTube, they can see exactly how it went, you know.
So it seems like you had a protocol and a methodology to do what you're doing, and you left there and ended up at the superintendent of schools for the state of Virginia, Dr. Patricia Wright. How was that meeting, Mr. Thaxton?
Well, actually, it was a scary meeting. We were meeting the superintendent of schools over the whole Virginia, and you know, I'm not too far out of high school myself, so it was kind of scary to me.
Like being back in the principal's office.
Yeah, being back in the principal's office. And you know, had difficulties just preparing for it because you don't know what to expect. But when we were there, she greeted us with a smile. She said she would give us 10 minutes. She gave us an hour. You know.
So again, doors keep opening.
Doors keep opening.
So instead of trying to chronicle every single thing you did, next thing you know, you had I've read your biography. Kim White, the Commonwealth's attorney, Elton Brown, Arizona Cardinal, what's the gentleman's name? Tyrone Drakeford. Former NFL player for the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, the Raiders, and someone else.
Yeah, the Saints, New Orleans Saints, Washington Redskins.
And then you guys end up traveling from D.C. all the way down to North Carolina and Buffy the Body. That's kind of out of character, but you have to go where the young people are.
Well, see, we're making a movie on life choices, so no choices excluded. You know, no culture is excluded.
Right.
And was it shocking for you by reading your bio? From what I understand, the thing that stood out to you most, that Buffy the Body was not so much known for her body, that she's going into athletics and training and doing different things, and no longer being a video vixen. She's made a life choice.
Yeah, she's made a life choice. She also has a phenomenal website showing different fitness activities and health eating and stuff like that that you can check out as well. Yeah, she's branched off big time.
Right.
All right, and then let's see, New York. The Big Apple. What happened up in New York, fellas?
New York, that was an experience. First of all, the driving. The driving was crazy. We was on a strict time frame and we had to be there. We got there on time. We did so much. We went to see Lowe's Moore.
Who's Lowe's Moore?
Well, Lowe's Moore, he's an athletic director at the Boys and Girls Club there in Mount Vernon, New York. Phenomenal guy. NBA star. He's a minister, elder in the church, and he does various other activities as far as the Boys and Girls Club in New York. Makes a substantial impact.
Well, you guys gave a great set of notes, and the thing that stood out for me in those notes is in 7th grade he was going to be left back. Got with a tutor, made a life's choice so he could go ahead and be better. They had told him you might want to go to trade school, and he goes from being left back in the 7th grade to graduating with honors from his high school and getting over 300 Division I scholarships. I think he made a pretty good choice. Yeah,
he said the scholarships were coming in for days. He made the choice, went to the NBA, and now he's back giving back to the kids each and every day.
And then your next interview, Gerald Hoover. It's a book, something about
author,
being a hero. He's authored 3 books. Gerald said he was blessed with a stuttering problem. Yet he speaks, he's had over 300 engagements in the last 2 years in front of kids. And when he speaks in front of the kids, he doesn't stutter.
Yeah, he doesn't stutter at all in front of the camera. I thought it was very unique too.
And he's making his own documentary called 4 Square Miles of Glory. He's from Mount Vernon, and Denzel Washington is, and I understand Denzel's going to be narrating a portion of that movie, so it was great to speak with Gerald Hoover from everything you've told us.
Exactly right.
And then from there, you talked about going to the mayor's office. How was that experience?
Oh, that experience, wow, it was kind of breathtaking, actually being in the mayor's office. Our director of photography was born there. We went in, we talked to the mayor, to Mayor Young, and he enlightened us on the problems in the inner cities. Where we're from is a very rural area, and the differences in our culture, are like night and day. So on a bigger scale, he let us know the problems and issues they're facing.
Tell me something. At this point, I'm looking at 2 guys from rural Virginia, both college graduates from Virginia State University, entrepreneurs in your own right, have owned several businesses. You said the economy is busting you in the tail. You're broke. But yet you're still giving. How do you guys give? Young folk, usually you're all about yourself. What makes you want to give?
Well, it comes to a point in your life where you got to take you out of the equation and put others in the equation. If you can reach someone, if this movie only reaches one person, then we've done our job. It's a success for us.
Well, I'll tell you, the social network makes the word really move around. In my own practices, I found that sometimes there's a crab mentality, and as you try to rise, people will try to pull you down. I'm sure you guys weren't immune to that. What were some of the obstacles from people? Because the bios that I read and the information you guys gave me, not everybody was happy that you guys were making life's choices. I guess they wanted you to be perfect before you make a movie that says life's choices. So talk about that.
Oh yeah, a lot of peers shot us down immediately. We got a lot of grief from a lot of different people, and not only our peers, even older people. Saying, how do you guys do this? Even from high school, we had counselors tell us that we would never amount to anything. So that only fueled us to make the better choices. Some of the things that were directed towards us, we didn't even pay no attention because years ago we've been hearing the same thing about ourselves. So the only way to prove these people wrong is to do the right thing.
Well, too, and the crab in the bucket theory.
Yes, sir.
When you got the crabs pulling you down, the only way to keep them from pulling you down, you got to stay in the weight room too.
Well, tell me something. You guys, have you led a squeaky clean life? Have you made all the right choices?
No.
Oh, not at all.
Not by far.
Not at all.
So if you want to look in that camera and tell those folks, those naysayers, that, you know what, we haven't made all the right choices, that makes us even more qualified to make this picture. Let them know how you feel about them saying, you know what, why are you making this movie? You didn't make them all right.
Check the records. That's all I gotta say. Check the records. We've been there, we've done that. We're not squeaky clean by far. We done been in trouble up and down the East Coast, and this is no lie.
Well, and all of our wrongdoing, as people will call it, everything that we've done bad, that we've done behind closed doors, all that made us stronger, and it brought us to this point where we can make this movie to show other people the right choices so they won't make the choices that we made.
And if you want to talk about full circle, you talk about making some bad choices, but what is it you do every day in your day-to-day life now?
Well, actually, this year I'm a PE teacher, and I work with the youth, troubled youth actually. It's not just regular kids in the regular everyday school. I work at an alternative school where you have kids that have multiple problems, so it takes a special person to deal with these kids,
So it seems like some of the things that started in your young life and some of those obstacles and pitfalls that you dealt with
Right.
immensely qualified you for doing exactly what you're doing right now.
Right.
And Mr. Thaxton, I read your resume. You've actually worked in the school system as well. Where did that come from? You do some tutoring or some teaching?
Yeah, I did some substitute teaching. I did some counseling. I've been working with the school system since I got out of high school. Immediately before I even went to college, I was working in the school system in the maintenance department. So I done did all around activities as far as the schools, because I always wanted to give back to my community, and one of the biggest parts, is the schools.
So we're talking about choices, and a lot of things people see. You've been fortunate to go out to different clubs to make this movie known. Do some casting calls all over North Carolina, Virginia, and everybody sees, oh man, he's driving a Mercedes-Benz, he's driving a BMW. These guys are rich, they have it made. Talk about what people see on the outside and what they don't see on the inside.
Well, they see the glamour and the glitz. They see the 22s, they see 20s, they see AMGs, they see 745s, but they don't see what it took to get there.
I understand you guys were in Iraq. Bullets flying, bombs
flying, bombs dropping, mortar rounds, helicopters flying over, sirens going off. If you're not willing to go the extra mile to get where you want to be, then why complain or down me because of what I've got or what I'm doing? Like you said, people will sit around and gripe and complain all day, but until they get up and bust
until they actually do something. Because I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, Miss Hawkins.
That's right. Keep it real. All right. Well, let's talk about this thing. We're about halfway through. You guys have filmed, dozens of interviews. You've got some sponsorship, from what I understand. Grand Springs
Water. Right. Yes. Pacific Headwear donated some hats to us.
Now, not just some hats. I thought they donated 100, 200 hats or more.
It was 500 hats.
500 hats.
500 hats.
500 hats. Yeah.
$20, $35 a piece. These are good hats.
In several of our events where we do casting calls or we do a shoot, for a scene in the movie, we've had Applebee's. They catered it for us. We had Walmart donate some things for us. We've had
Italian Delight
donate some things for us.
And, Belk.
Belk, their makeup artists.
The makeup artists, right.
So this is a community effort. It sounds like you guys were pulling from whoever would lend a hand.
Right.
So Life's Choices is a group effort.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, we could talk about this thing ad nauseum all day long, every day. But what I want to do is we're just giving folks a snippet into your lives and let them know that the editing process is starting. The opportunity for sponsorship, product placement. Now's people's chance to get on board.
Right, exactly.
If they want to see a little bit of Life's Choices, or they want to give a donation, how can they find the website? What numbers do they call? Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up for them.
Yeah, pretty much now, if you type in Life Choices the movie and any Google or Yahoo search, it's going to pop up. That's the quickest and easiest way to find us, or they can go directly to the website at www.lifeschoicesmovie.com.
You guys, we know your time is tight. You've worked all day long. Here it is late in the evening, and we're trying to let folk know that we're about to wrap this thing up. We're really proud of you guys. Miracles of Life Film Group, CMP, everybody that's involved. The list that you guys gave me was probably 5 pages long, but we just want to say thank you to everybody out there and now challenge you to make a donation. These guys have put in the sweat equity. They've put in the time.
2 years worth.
2 years in the making, they've said they haven't made all the right choices.
Nope.
All of this has come out of their pockets except for 1 or 2 donations, from what I understand. Let's talk about that. We won't give the names of the folk because they asked to be anonymous.
Right.
But how much money was actually donated?
The list isn't that long.
The list isn't long at all.
So what it sounds like is most of it came out of your pockets,
right?
And the largesse of other folk. And now it's time for everybody to join in and try to pick this thing up and take it a little further.
That's right, because it's a community effort. So we're only trying to empower your kids and your children.
Well, and then to add on to that, why wouldn't you want to help your children? Why not put something on the TV that they're going to get something from, some influential footage? Seriously.
Well, it sounds like you have your views down pat. Before we go, lastly, the last people that we had an opportunity to interview, from what I understand, were who? I think it was Brian Dawson down
Brian
Radio
Dawson,
1.
Wade Banner.
And Brian Dawson, just to talk about it, 2 years ago, didn't have a television show. Now he's got his own television show because of the choices he makes. He's constantly giving to kids.
Yeah.
Wade Banner, we visited him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He was just starting in the radio.
Now.
And now he's about to take Brian Dawson's drive time spot if he vacates that.
Right.
So the choices that he made are paying off 2 years later. The projections of thoughts and the vision that you had 2 years ago are now paying off.
On behalf of Miracles of Life Film Group and Life Choices the Movie, we would challenge you to go to lifechoicesmovie.com and give a donation. It does not matter a penny or $1 million. It does not matter. Anything helps. We challenge you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching The Recap, Life's Choices the Movie. We hope this stirred some interest, and we trust that you'll log on to www.lifeschoicesmovie.com and make your donation now. Thank you.